going on, guys? Kyvox here, and it's been about a month since I got my MacBook Pro, and honestly, I still like it as much as I did when I first saw it, when I first opened it up, and I'm pretty much still in love with it. I still like everything about it. There's nothing really, in my opinion, wrong with it. People have been having some battery life issues. I honestly haven't. I still get a good 8 to 10 hours depending on what I'm doing. But the big thing that everyone complains about is the dongle life. To have to buy all these dongles so that I could use my old stuff and everything. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's that bad. So I have a couple of tips for you guys that are planning on getting one or already have one and don't know what to buy. The first thing I got was this Hitachi SD card reader / USB mini dock thing. It worked for about a month or so and then it just stopped working. Recently I've been copying things to a flash drive and then using the USB ports on this because the USB ports work, but the SD card reader does not. Beware of this. If you guys get it, it may not last. I treated this thing very well. It never left the house, never was dropped, but for some reason stopped working. Luckily, it's the holiday season still, so I can still return it. So this guy's going back. So what I ended up getting was the card reader from Apple. I just decided, you know what, let's just go name brand with this. It has a warranty. If something happens, I can return it and it stops working. I'm actually very surprised with the build on this because it's not actually an Apple product, but it looks good. It kind of has a weird design to it. It kind of looks like a spatula. I also picked up a USB Type-C to USB Type-A adapter, I guess. It actually seems to work very well. Tested out the speeds on it, getting full speed out of the USB 3, and the plastic ends are pretty close to the look of the space gray of my MacBook Pro, so I'm pretty happy with this. I was gonna go with the Apple one, but I decided let's test out some different ones because obviously the Apple one works, but it also wasn't USB 3.0, it was only USB 2, so I decided no thank you. And while we're talking about cables, let's talk about the 3 cables that I ended up buying for my MacBook, starting off with the Lightning to USB-C. Hopefully with the next iPhone, they bundled this little guy in with it so that you could use it with your MacBook Pro. It seems kind of weird that they didn't give you that with the new iPhone because they were introducing USB-C with the new MacBook and they knew that they were releasing the MacBook Pros with USB-C. I get it, nobody has USB-C, so it makes sense, but hopefully Apple does that with their next one. So I can't talk about these wires without the drives that are going to accompany them. Just for some general Final Cut backup and Time Machine backups, I ended up getting an external standard drive, and it actually did not come with, obviously, USB-C, so what I ended up buying was a USB-C to USB 3.0. I prefer to buy a new cable as opposed to just a dongle because I don't like having dongles hanging off the end of my wires. For this guy, I ended up going to Apple and getting the Belkin Thunderbolt 3 USB-C to USB-C / Thunderbolt 3, whatever. I ended up getting their cable, which again, overkill, but figured, you know, I could use a 1.5 foot long cable for the future, possibly, if I ever end up doing some sort of dock system where I could just sit down, plug everything in to one wire, have everything simple. And last but not least, the final thing that I bought, Bose Q35 noise canceling headphones, which honestly guys, these are my favorite pair of headphones I've ever had. I'm not a big audiophile or anything like that, but I do love the fact that these cancel out so much sound. Out of all these accessories, this is obviously the least needed. You could plug in just your iPhone headphones and everything works, except if you have the new iPhone, then you can't plug it in unless you get the no. Here you have it. This is everything that I've bought so far to use with my MacBook Pro, and honestly, I haven't had any other issues. I haven't had to buy a bunch of dongles like everybody's complaining about. You got to use this with that. But I also don't have a bunch of external monitors. I do eventually want to get some, but most likely I'm probably going to get some either USB 3 monitors or Thunderbolt 3 monitors. I'm not sure yet, depending on the price range. I may get the Apple one / LG one. I don't know yet. We'll get to that when we get to that. But honestly, guys, I love my MacBook Pro. It's been about a month and a half and it's still treating me right. And I'm gonna hate myself for this, but I will put links to everything that I've bought so far, minus this guy. All you really need is a Type-C connector to Type-A female connector, and you guys would be fine. Most of your other products are USB Type-A, so they'll most likely plug into this. You can get a couple of these. You get 4 of these to use on all your ports, 40 bucks, and you guys would probably be pretty happy with that. So guys, make sure to smash that like button if you like this video, if it was helpful at all, and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to check out some of the other videos if you guys also haven't already.